It was a cold Thursday night, and the old Skyline bowling alley, abandoned for years, attracted curious stares from passers-by. Amid the cracks in the building and shattered windows, a mystery lingered. Rumors swirled that the alley had been the site of a macabre event. Three friends, intrigued by the legend, decided to sneak in and uncover the truth. What began as a joke would soon turn into their worst nightmare. The decision. Jake, Liz, and Darren were inseparable friends, always seeking dangerous adventures. As they talked about the story of the abandoned bowling alley, Jake, the boldest, suggested, "Let's go inside tonight. They say the pins still fall by themselves. I want to see it for myself." Liz hesitated, but curiosity got the better of her. Darren, always nervous, tried to back out. "What if it's true? Or worse, what if the cops catch us?" Jake just laughed. "Don't worry. It's just an old building. No ghosts here." The first sign, as they stepped through the broken door, a wave of cold air enveloped them. The place smelled of mold and old grease, and their shoes stuck to the floor. Flashlights in hand, they began exploring. The bowling balls were still lined up, covered in dust. Liz found a table with an old score sheet. The names were smudged, but one word was written in red: "Leave." Darren pointed to lane 7, where a ball began rolling slowly. "Did you see that?" he whispered, panic creeping in. Jake, defiant, picked up the ball and rolled it toward the pins. As it reached the end of the lane, all the bowling alley's lights flickered violently. The past revealed. A deep voice echoed through the space. "You've entered the final game. Only one will leave." The lanes began glowing with a reddish light, and one by one, shadowy figures emerged among the pins, forming a circle around the friends. Liz screamed as she recognized the shapes. They were the former employees of the bowling alley, missing for decades. One of the specters stepped forward, a woman with hollow eyes and a tattered uniform. Her voice echoed, "You must play. Each strike saves a soul. Each miss claims one." The deadly game. Trembling, Darren was the first to throw. His ball veered into the gutter, and a shadow lunged at him, pulling him into the lane. His screams faded in an instant. Jake, desperate, grabbed a ball and hurled it with force, scoring a strike. The shadows retreated momentarily. Liz, crying, tried to focus, but the ball slipped from her hands, rolling weakly. The lights flickered again, and another ghostly figure began to advance. The sacrifice. Jake realized the game was a trap with no way out. He shouted to Liz, "Go. I'll hold them off." Before she could protest, he grabbed as many bowling balls as he could and started throwing them one by one, keeping the shadows at bay. Liz ran toward the exit, tears streaming down her face. Liz escaped, but as she looked back, she saw the bowling alley collapse into a vortex of screams and dust. When the police arrived the next day, all that remained was an empty lot. Jake and Darren were never found. Today, they say that on silent nights, you can hear the sound of bowling balls rolling and pins falling, even though the alley no longer exists. And those who dare to speak too much about Skyline often vanish mysteriously, as if summoned to the next final game.